A cold December dusk settled over Pine Hollow, the kind of dusk that wrapped itself around houses like a heavy blanket. The Armitage family cottage stood at the edge of the forest, its windows glowing gold with warmth. Inside, Laurel Armitage stirred a pot of hot chocolate as her husband Rowan strung up old Christmas lights that flickered like tired stars. Every Christmas Eve, at exactly 11:11 p.m., something impossible happened. A soft knock at the door, a whisper of frost, a presence that should never exist. Tonight, like every year, Rowan froze when he heard it. "Laurel," he said quietly, "he's here." Laurel's breath caught in her throat. She walked slowly to the door, placing her trembling hand on the knob. The air turned colder, shimmering like the world held its breath. She opened the door. There he was, a snow child glowing faintly blue, shaped like an 8-year-old boy, his eyes warm amber like melted honey. Frost swirled around him gently, never touching the ground. "Hello, Mama. Hello, Papa," he said with a smile too sad for a child. Laurel collapsed to her knees, tears streaming. Rowan's face twisted in grief and wonder. He was their son, the son they never had, yet somehow always knew. The child who belonged to another timeline, a life erased before it ever existed. Every Christmas Eve, he visited, and every Christmas Eve, he vanished with the dawn. But this year, his glow flickered weakly, his form blurred like melting snow. "Something is wrong," Laurel whispered. "You're fading." The Snowchild nodded. "The winter spirit who protected my world has been taken, and without him." He looked down at his transparent hands. "My world is collapsing." Rowan swallowed hard. "Why come to us?" "Because in my world, you saved me once." The child stepped closer. "And I believe you might save me again." The lights flickered. Wind howled outside. The forest itself seemed to shift. "What do we need to do?" Laurel asked. The Snowchild extended his small, icy hand. "Follow me." They stepped outside. The door shut softly behind them. The forest opened like a mouth. Snow fell silently as the trees bent inward, forming a tunnel of frost. The Snowchild led them deeper until they reached a frozen pond, glowing from underneath with pale blue light. "This is a crossing," he said, "a doorway to the lost winter." Laurel and Rowan looked at one another and stepped forward. The ice cracked like glass. Cold light swallowed them. They emerged into a world of endless midnight. The sky shimmered with auroras, swirling like spirits. Snowflakes hung in the air, unmoving, suspended as if time had stopped. "This is your world?" Rowan whispered. "This is what remains of it," the child answered. Frosted mountains loomed in the distance, but at their peak was something strange, a massive ice throne, shattered into jagged ruins. "The winter spirit sat there," the child said, but a darkness took him. As if on cue, the ground trembled. A sound echoed across the frozen valley like cracking ice twisted with a growl. Laurel clutched Rowan's arm. "What was that?" "The thing that erased my timeline," the Snowchild whispered. "The frost wraith." A shadow moved beneath the ice, traveling fast. "Come on!" Rowan yelled. They ran across a frozen ridge. The Snowchild pointed toward a cave, glowing with silver fire. "Inside! Hurry!" Just as they reached the entrance, the ice shattered behind them, and a monstrous figure rose from the depths, tall as a tower, made of black ice, hollow eyes burning icy blue. The frost wraith. The creature screamed, and wind slashed across the valley. Inside the cave, ancient murals covered the walls, paintings of the winter spirit, a guardian made of shimmering frost who brought balance to the seasons. But one mural was torn apart, claw marks ripped through it. "He's being drained," the Snowchild said softly. "His power stolen." "Where is he now?" Laurel asked. The child pointed to a mural of a chasm, deep in the frozen earth. The abyss of forgotten winters. They traveled for what felt like hours through the frozen world, guided only by aurora light. Strange spirits, thin as mist, drifted around them, whispering fragments of lost lives. The snow child grew dimmer with every step. "Laurel, I don't know if I can last much longer." "No," she said fiercely. "We brought you into this world tonight. We're not losing you again." Rowan squeezed her hand. "We finished this." At last, they reached the abyss, a vast crater swirling with icy fog. At its center, chained to a pillar of cracked ice, was the winter spirit, a tall humanoid being with hair like falling snow and eyes like distant stars. He was dying, drained, weak. The frost wraith emerged from the fog, each step cracking the earth. "It feeds on erased timelines," the winter spirit whispered. "It stole the world your child belonged to." Laurel stepped forward. "How do we stop it?" The spirit met her eyes. "Only one thing can restore balance: your acceptance of the life you lost." Laurel's breath broke. "You mean, if we let go of him?" The snow child shook his head violently. "No, Mama, please." Rowan knelt in front of the child. "You deserve life, even if not in this world." The spirit raised a frozen hand. "Letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It means freeing the timeline to heal, freeing him." The frost wraith lunged. Rowan grabbed Laurel's hand. Laurel grabbed the snow child's. And together they whispered, "We love you. Wherever you exist, you live in us." Light exploded. The child's body glowed brighter and brighter until he became pure white brilliance. The frost wraith screamed as cracks spread across its form. The winter spirit rose, breaking his chains. With a sweep of his arm, the wraith shattered into dust, scattered like broken ice across the abyss. The light faded. The snow child stood before them, no longer flickering, no longer fading. "You saved me," he whispered. "My world is returning." Laurel hugged him tightly, tears soaking into his frosted hair. "Will we see you again?" Rowan asked. The child shook his head. "Not like this, but I will grow, somewhere, somewhen." He touched their hands. "In every winter breeze, I'll be there. In every snowfall, I'll remember you." He took a step back as the winter spirit lifted him gently. "Goodbye, Mama. Goodbye, Papa." The world dissolved into light, and Rowan and Laurel awoke in their cottage. The clock read 11:12 p.m. Only 1 minute had passed, but on the windowsill, where frost had melted earlier, lay a small, glowing snowflake, warm to the touch, like a heartbeat. Laurel smiled softly. "He's home," she whispered. Outside, the snow began to fall slow, gentle, glowing, faintly blue. A new winter, a healed timeline, and the memory of a child who never was, yet always belonged. Subscribe to this channel for more.